Prosecutors submitted new footage that links YNW Melly to the deaths of Sakchaser and Juvy. They used it to block his chances of getting bond, and it worked. Footage shows Melly leaving the studio first, ahead of Sakchaser, Juvy, and Bortlin, and getting into the back left seat of the Jeep to get ready.
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes? All right.
Official court documents say the bullets traveled from left to right in the car, which supports the claim that the shots came from the back left seat, where Melly was sitting. Even Juvy's mother confirmed Melly was in that seat.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
I'm Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the kids in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
But here's what most people didn't know. Prosecutors had a sneaky plan. According to reports, a no communication order was filed in the Melly trial. This order completely separates Melly and Bortlin. No talking, no lawyer, discussions, just total silence. Prosecutors want to stop them from coordinating because they plan to try both of them together.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. Just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once. And also, you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way, they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So, this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking the penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
Because if the prosecutors try them together, they can use Bortlin's interrogation from the night of the crime, which shows that Bortlin was trying to cover up something about the crime.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Man, I was playing music, getting off the exit. I was already getting sleepy, almost home, you know what I'm saying? And like, just out of nowhere, like, I just heard, you know what I'm saying? So, and I ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car, and I almost crashed the car.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the studio, from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
I took I-75, 595 to
75. Then you took 75 south?
It's clear to the officers Bortlin's story isn't adding up to anything, but Bortlin tries to stay confident in the interrogation.
Here's the hard part, where we're having a hard time to understand, is that we shut down that entire area, and we had officers shoulder to shoulder walk it out. They didn't find as much as one shell casing. They didn't find one piece of glass. Nothing. Nothing to what you said adds up. And it's hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's the class.
I mean, for whatever reason, your two friends, are these your good friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These my like,
these your two, I'm assuming, close friends.
Yo.
And you're doing them an in-service by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth, son. I don't like. What do you want?
How do you make shell casings disappear?
I don't know. How can I tell you about a shell case?
But the interrogation only got worse. Bortlin gets angry because the officers refuse to believe his story.
I told y'all the story, and that's it, bro. I don't even talk about it anymore. Like, cause I told y'all. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Okay, just so you know, all right, because you're saying, well, I don't want to talk anymore. There's going to be a lot more questions. And we're not trying to piss you off. The thing is, we don't know your friends.
Yeah.
So the reason we have to ask all these questions, because the more we know about your friends, your lifestyle, your friend's lifestyle, your friends, his friends, and the circumstances surrounding today, the more, the easier it's going to be for us to try and solve this.
Once a suspect shuts down during an interrogation, Bortland started doing, it's up to the officer to get them talking again. Anything Bortland says can later be used against him, especially if his story changes or he gives away too much. The investigator wanted to hear exactly what Bortland was doing during the drive-by.
And I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's gotta be some evidence there. There's gonna be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here when you guys open the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's gonna be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's gonna be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's gonna be evidence over there. Okay, right now, there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
But in a weird move by the investigator, he put the pressure on Bortland by asking him, if you know who did this, would you tell me?
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, but I respect the truth rather than BS, okay? And it's a simple question. If you knew who did this, okay? You may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly. The truth. You wouldn't?
Because I wouldn't want to be a part of it. I wouldn't want to be.
The officer asked a simple question. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? Yes or no? Instead of answering out loud, Bortland just shook his head no. He didn't want to risk his voice cracking or saying something that didn't match the rest of his story. Bortland knew that even a small change in body language could give the officer a reason to dig deeper. But the scariest part, if Bortland ends up facing prison time for this, he might not hesitate to blame Melly, especially since in the first trial, Melly's lawyer already tried to pin the crime on Bortland.
Those were his lives. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, a car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
As they showed, it was always Bortland who lied to the feds, and that he had firearm powder on his hands, meaning either he was the one who did it or was right there as it happened. As a forensic scientist, talked about how the powder on his hands.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of hot residue and two component particles. And the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of hot residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was hot residue present on the hands.
Bortland hated that Melly's team did this against him, which is why when Melly got a mistrial, he tweeted out, "Mind games don't work on people like me," alongside a handshake emoji, as if he's accepting some sort of deal. However, another problem. On Melly's hands is his ex-girlfriend showing back up in the country because she's been missing since the original trial that she was supposed to testify in, and now the feds have got a hold of her.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
As the deal for Mariah to be released is that she will be present and testify in the Melly trial. And it's rumored that Melly and her had a call on the night of the crime, meaning any information she has could be extremely valuable to the feds' investigation. But once she was released, she wrote on Facebook, "Thank you to my village. I love y'all so much. God's plan, not mine." They found disturbing evidence in Mariah's iCloud account relating to Melly forcing her not to testify in trial, which is known as witness tampering. This carries a life sentence in prison regardless if Melly actually took out Sakchaser and
State filing 6 new charges against Demmons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
But the craziest thing is that Melly's been off the jail phones and any human contact for nearly a year, as it was so bad his mother did an interview and spoke about it.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
The main reason Melly lost those privileges is because officials believe he was using the jail phone to tamper with witnesses, and that might be how he got a mistrial the first time. But it's not all bad news for Melly. He still has one. More chance at bond before his trial in September. His legal team offered to post an unspecified bond through his record label, 100 Entertainment. If granted, Melly would be on house arrest, wear an ankle monitor, and have 24/7 security watching him. The bond request was so strong, one rapper even said, "That boy Melly coming home, I feel it." Melly's mom also shared the moment on IG Live.
We just still praying. I know I said I would I'll keep everybody updated with what's happening. I know right now we're waiting. So basically the judge is going to do, I guess, a written order. So we're just waiting, and that order can come any minute, or it could come tomorrow. I don't know. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting. So everybody just keep praying, keep having faith. Tessa, stop. I've been crying too. It's been a long time coming, you know.
As they are trying to get Melly out because he's not being treated like a human inside of jail, which is illegal.
You saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
They then brought up evidence from the original trial with GPS evidence, proving that Melly was seen sprinting down a street and hiding in a bush while the crime was going down.
That would be the part where he's saying that someone just shut the car up and was trying to shoot them. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah. He's like, yeah, there's some. I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sak and Juvy? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're...
Melly's defense team also mentioned how there was never even a firearm found for the crime, making it more likely that a drive-by could have been the cause.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what firearm was used.
Okay.